What up, guys? Your boy Quake back with a brand new episode of the Diverse Mentality Podcast, number 379. I said podcast, a little messed up there. But happy New Year, happy holidays to all of you that celebrated. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys spent it with family and had a great time. I know you guys are probably like, man, what happened? You're supposed to release podcast episodes. Well, I think it was Christmas Eve, the day before Christmas, because that was a Wednesday and then Christmas was on Thursday. Yeah, that Christmas Eve, I was checking the news cycle. Nothing really news-wise was happening. So I figured, hey, let's skip this episode. Let's, my editor can also take a break from editing the podcast, because it's Christmas Day the following day. So let's kind of skip that. And then that little Christmas day, Fabulous and Mano and Dave East and Jim Jones, they dropped that diss record, and then they dropped their podcast talking shit to 50. So, stuff happened after, the podcast was supposed to get released. So it's kind of good that I didn't really, record it that day, because I would end up missing all that stuff and then having to record it for the next podcast. So what I did was I recorded that news part on the main channel and then just attached it to this podcast episode. So you guys will see that later on in the day if you haven't seen it on the main channel. I do collaborate on YouTube on the channel from the main channel and the podcast channel. So both pages can see the video. So that's one cool way now with that collaboration thing. I can kind of, push the news stuff through the podcast on the main channel as well to help with views and stuff like that. So yeah, I decided to not do that episode because really the news cycle was dry. And then the other episode landed on New Year's Eve as well, which is hilarious. Like both landed on the eve of the time, right? I think, let me see, because let me actually look at the dates. I might be tripping here. Yeah, so I did miss 3 episodes. I missed Christmas Eve, which was on the 24th. That's when I record the episode. Then on the 25th, it comes out. Record the episode on the 28th. So that Sunday as well, no news. Nothing was really happening that was crazy besides that Dave East and, that diss record that came out, which I recorded a video to. So I felt like, hey, just to add that and a bunch of random, news. Really nothing was happening that was crazy. And then New Year's Eve as well, same thing. I was like, hey, actually that day I didn't really check the news. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I was just like, hey, it's New Year's. I'm not going to. Last New Year's was horrible for me. Like my dad was days away from dying because he died January 2nd of 2025. So I didn't celebrate New Year's at all. We didn't do nothing. We were just laying by his bedside as he was, basically preparing to transition. So I just took that day off as well. And I was like, I'm just going to spend it with family, relax. And here we are. We are here to finally returning. Happy 2026. I just wanted to say this. I started 2025 horribly with my dad dying, my accident where my back was killing me, and then the YouTube channel just not doing well for the AI reason with the AI translation that was ruining the channel. But I ended it really, really good. The channel is back up. I've uploaded a YoungBoy clip. So I'm re-uploading a lot of the older interviews that didn't get pushed properly. So I uploaded a YoungBoy clip about him talking about the El Chapo chain incident. And when I initially uploaded it back in July of 2025, it only got 16,000 views. That's right. You heard that right. 16,000 views on YouTube. So I re-uploaded it in December of 2025, and it got 100,000 views in 24 hours. Because that topic is interesting. So I was surprised when I first uploaded it, it only got 16,000 views. I was like, how? This is literally talking about a robbery. It's talking about involving cartel. Like, it's an interesting story. And it flopped that time. So that just goes to show my channel was just getting destroyed on views. It wasn't getting pushed. And me re-uploading stuff is getting the views back. So if you see a lot of these older interviews getting re-uploaded, it's because of that. I know I'm getting some comments, and I got some comments on social media as well. Why are you re-uploading these things? You got to understand, not everybody's seen these. Just because you saw it doesn't mean that everybody saw it. 16,000 views on a video is nothing on YouTube. Literally, like, nobody saw it. So re-uploading them now, the videos I think are like over 200,000 views. So it's a little bit better. That's way better, actually. I don't mind a clip getting 200,000 views. That's fine with me. That means that it got pushed properly, and it's getting, and it's still getting a decent amount of views every day. So that just shows there's no suppression, that the channel is actually getting pushed. But I say that to say, I started out 2025 horribly, ended it on a great note. I mean, I had 50 Cent repost from my Instagram page twice. It was actually and we're about to talk about this topic. We posted about 50 Cent being the most streamed New York rapper on YouTube for the third time in a row. 50 reposted that. And then 50 reposted when we shared In the Club surpassing 2 billion streams on Spotify. He reposted that, even dissing rappers, which is really cool because I've never had a post of mine advocate for 50 to diss rappers. So it was really cool to see that. But we ended off the year really strong. I say that to say, finally, after talking about a bunch of things, that don't let situations get you down. Don't feel like the world is ending because you're in a bad situation in your life right now. Things are temporary. My dad dying, the accident happened, YouTube not doing what it's supposed to do, and basically my career getting completely shut down was a horrible, horrible 2025. Like for 8 months, it was just trash. And then towards the end, it started picking up. Things started getting better. And I ended 2025 on a really, really good note. And I'm starting 2026 on a really good note. So please, if you're going through something and you feel like, hey, the world's ending and everything is going wrong for you right now, just keep your head up, keep pushing, and things will get better. That's life. It's a roller coaster ride. It goes up, it goes down. Don't get too high on your highs and don't get too low on your lows, because both of those are temporary. Having major success, temporary. Having a horrible moment in your life, temporary. And that's the beautiful part. So just stay in the middle. Don't get too high. Don't get too low. And keep pushing, man. Keep striving. It's not how many times you fall up. It's how many times you get back up. So I just want to start 2026 like that. Let's grind. Let's lock in. Everybody, I hope you guys, accomplish all of your goals and more this year. And to me personally, I'm going to be honest with you guys, I don't really care about the years. I get it. It's like a whole thing. And we as humans think that, the next year is going to be different. And there's going to be some shift. Really, it's just the next following day. That's really what it is to me. I get that, with the 2000 years and stuff, people like to, put these things as like, it's a brand new year. I can do brand new things. Great. As long as you stick to them, I don't care how you do it. Just stick to the stuff that you want to get accomplished and you'll get there. So yeah, let's go over the news. There's a lot of interesting things. And I don't know if I was supposed to say something in the beginning here too as well. Not just that, but I was supposed to say some things. I probably forgot because I swear I have like these things in my head to say, but so yeah, this year the plan is to try at least to land 15 to 20 interviews this year. That's going to be my goal. End of January, I'm going to have an interview done, which is going to be really, really cool, or at least beginning of February, end of January. And then from there, I'm going to try to do a lot more. Like I said, my bread and butter isn't interviews, although these past 2 months it has been. Like that's it. That's been coming on my channel's interviews, and people have been getting introduced to me through interviews. So now I'm starting to build an audience where, with diverse mentality, I have a split audience in a lot of things, right? There's, you guys that support me in everything that I do, because the people that actually watch the podcast know everything because they watch every episode. They're very in tune. So there's you guys that watch everything and support, and I love that. I appreciate you guys. You guys are the best, because without you guys, none of this would be possible. Then there are people that support just certain things that I do, and I'm fine with that as well. I mean, I know not everything that I do is people's cup of tea, and they don't have to watch every single thing that I do, but some of it I appreciate. So there's some people that just watch my beef videos. There's some people that just watch my documentaries. There's some people that just watch now my artist interviews. There's some people that just care for when I talk about the news and give my takes on it. So there's a mixture of people, and I'm going to have to cater to everybody as this year goes on. I'm going to try to cater to the artist interviews, or just interviews, not even artist interviews. I probably just want to do interviews in general. I'll see. Cater to that. Cater to the documentaries. I know I planned on a lot of documentaries coming out in 2025. It just didn't pan out that way. And it's good that they didn't come out, because my channel was just getting suppressed. Like I said, it was getting destroyed. So those documentaries would have just been, flopping back and forth, and it would have been horrible. So I'm glad I didn't release those when I, had that issue. So this year I have a few documentaries already planned for this month. Hopefully I can get these 2 out. They're a lot shorter, so I can probably get them out. And I do have a third channel. Well, technically I have 2 channels with the podcast and this main one, but I have a third channel I'm working on. And the beautiful thing about this channel is it's with 2 other people. So I have to, actually 3 technically other people. So I do less work, but I am going to be the audio and the face of the channel. So it's going to look like it's my channel, but it's not. There's going to be people writing scripts for me. There's going to be people editing for me and all that. So that channel is going to be something else. And I'll talk about that later once we launch it. and it's going to be more further away from hip hop. It's not really, it's going to start with some hip hop content, but that channel is not going to be anything related to hip hop. It's going to be catered towards a different audience. And I think you guys are going to like it regardless, because it is going to have some elements of music in there as well. And the partners that I'm working with, one of them I'm really excited about. You know, he is, I'm not going to say too much. I don't want to spoil too much. So I have all that planned this year, and I hope to execute on everything. And I'm going to try on this podcast, and I know I've been saying this for a while, to try to do a lot more of these lists that you guys want, you know, these opinions on things. It's just, I like to take pride in my list. I like to take the time to listen to these albums. You know, Kanye's announcing the Bully album, so I will do a Kanye album list of what's my favorite and what's not my favorite. So I will be listening to the album and including it on my list, and so on and so forth. I'm going to try to do as much as I can. Now I'm starting to build a team, and we're starting to gain momentum on social medias, which is really good. I mean, some of the podcast clips have gotten, you know, 200, 300, 500,000 views on Facebook or on X, you know, or even on Instagram. So it's a good thing on these social medias. I'm growing as well. It's expanding the team slowly, and it's going to slowly keep growing and growing. I don't have a big investment that somebody can just come in and give me, you know, $500,000 to grow the business. I am growing this independently, trying to figure it out and trying to build my way each little step at a time. And I'm fine with that. I'm not looking for crazy success and fame and all this stuff immediately. You know, gradually is more the route I prefer, because, you know, I think you learn a lot more that way, and you respect what you built a lot more that way. When you're looking for instant gratification, instant success, and all that, you lose it quick, just as quick as you got it. So, yeah, enough of that. I'm sorry for just rambling on, but it's been a while since I've done a podcast episode, so I enjoy doing this sometimes, man. You guys got to let me, you know, talk my shit. You know, 50 posted me 2 times on his page, man. And that's the funny thing is, like, people think that's, like, these recent 2 times that 50 posted me is, like, new. Like, this has just happened. No, 50's posted me on his page probably, like, 20 to 30 times, man. Come on, man. I'm tapped in G-Unit all day. I know people are going to be like, man, Quake, you 50 dick eater, blah, blah, blah. By the way, that record 50 has with that Italian guy that came out, I don't like it at all. I'm just going to let you guys know 50's verse is not good. Not a fan of that artist, whoever that is. The beat sucks. Just the song isn't good at all. So I know people wanted my opinion on that. Not a fan of it at all. That's why I didn't talk about it. I really don't care about the record. If I don't talk about a 50 record coming out, that tells you all that you need to know. I'm not a fan of it. I usually don't talk about music I'm not a fan of in general. Like, it's rare that I'll sit there and take out time to be like, oh, this is sucks, this, that. You know, I usually just ignore it because it's not good. I'll play it 1 time, 2 times, and I'm done. Yeah, I'll talk about more about 50 on the music side later on when it comes to all this Papoose and Fabulous and all this stuff. We'll talk about that and whether 50 should get in the booth, quote unquote, all that stuff we'll discuss. Now, let's get into the news, and we're going to start out with Lil Durk. There is some updates on his trial. Let's go over it. There have been a lot of controversies in the Lil Durk trial so far, whether it's his failed motion to disqualify prosecutors or the allegations that his alleged hitman confessed to a murder-for-hire plot. Nevertheless, according to exclusive All Hip Hop report, prosecutors are moving forward with their plans. In a new filing this week, they reportedly revealed that they will call upon multiple cooperating witnesses to take the stand. The government's proposed evidence also provides critical corroboration of its multiple cooperating witnesses, which are anticipated to testify that Durk ordered the violence in Los Angeles, used intermediaries to recruit others to carry out the scheme, and promised a reward for carrying out the murder, the filing reportedly reads. However, defense attorneys previously fought to block certain testimony and evidence from the federal Los Angeles trial due to unfair exchanges of information in the trial process. They also claim that this evidence and testimony unfairly paints the Chicago rapper and his OTF collective as a criminal organization. Still, the government stood by their witness plans. These testimonies will supposedly detail the planning, execution, funding, and rewards of an alleged murder-for-hire plot in Los Angeles. They opposed the defense's arguments against testimony and evidence, citing it as key to understanding the relationships between Smirk and his co-defendants and his alleged targets. Defense lawyers, I was about to say attorneys, same shit basically, also hinted that they will question the motives and truthfulness of the witnesses federal prosecutors plan to call to testify. Prosecutors reportedly acknowledge this, but do not find that this should keep the testimonies from the trial's jury. Lil Durk's trial for alleged murder for hire will begin on January 20th of this year. You heard that right, of this year. So if there is a lot of witnesses, man, which they're saying, they probably got a lot of people cooperating and saying, fuck this, I ain't doing life for some shit that maybe I had nothing really much to do with, or I had a lot to do with. Because they want the breadwinner. They want the guy who's the lead, who's ordering all these things, which is Lil Durk, allegedly, according to them. So yeah, we're January 20th is literally about 2 weeks away, if that. So we'll see what happens. I have no idea. I don't know what the outstanding evidence. It's going to be a crazy time, though. So I will try. Let me see. When is January 20th? I'm assuming it's probably a Monday. Oh, it's a Tuesday. Okay. So I was one day. Oh, yeah, because Martin Luther King Jr. Day is on January 19th. So that's why they're not starting on, because they usually start on Monday. It makes sense, right? So yeah, it starts Tuesday, January 20th. I will be covering this extensively. I am a fan of Lil Durk. I like his music. I think a lot of his more recent albums are great. I think he is an artist that really successfully managed to reinvent himself, because he was popping, you want to say from 2011 to 2013, and then kind of fell off from 2014 to 2019, somewhere around there. He started slowly getting more momentum in 2019, but yeah, from 2014 to 2018, he really wasn't popping at all. The music, I think because the music wasn't really the gangsta sound that we were used to, he kind of went the more female-driven, lovey-dovey route, which, you know, he can be successful in. You know, I think he's done a couple records that have been successful in that route, but people like the more street stuff, and I do. I'm not gonna lie. I like the more street records. I just don't want you doing the street shit anymore. Like, if you did it in your past life, okay, cool, it's done. But when you're famous, like, I don't want you living your raps when you're famous and you got millions and you're changing people's lives with your money, your whole family. You know, it'd be dumb to do that shit. But if you did it in your past, and once you got put on, you know, you start rapping about it, I don't mind that. I actually find it entertaining. It's cool. But I just don't like the dissing dead people, and, you know, it takes too far with that type of shit. I'm not a fan of that. Even though I can get caught up and listen to it sometimes. I'm human, but in general, I'm just not a fan of that type of stuff. I do like the street stuff here and there, but, you know, don't do it anymore. If you got put on, I know it's hard to detach. It's not that simple to just be like, oh, fuck the streets, I'm done, you know, with all you guys from the streets and all that. I'm not doing any of this gangster shit anymore. It's easier said than done, right? That's a huge part of your past, and it's hard to just detach from that and be like, yep, I'm a celebrity, I'm famous now, I'm a rapper. And most people don't, you know, they don't like to be called that celebrity famous rapper that's from the streets anyways. But you need to detach. You need to be able to say, hey, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm famous now. But that's what I like in my rappers. Like, I was watching a Jay-Z interview. I think Ellen uploaded like a throwback Jay-Z interview in 2006. Yeah, she was asking him, you used to be a drug dealer, blah, blah, blah. She's like, yeah. He was like, yeah, I used to be. That was my past, though. And, you know, I don't do that anymore. And I'm smart enough not to, you know, associate myself with that type of stuff anymore. And it's surprising to me that, you know, like, you have a lot of these rappers that came out who, like, used to do a lot of street stuff and then just stop as they got put on, which is smart. So, yeah, we'll see what happens with the Lil Durk thing, man. It's crazy nonetheless. It seems like a lot of people are turning sides on him. And, you know, who knows, man? This might be actually something where he serves life in prison. I don't know. We'll have to see how the trial goes. I'm not saying he will, but we'll see. I think 6ix9ine is locked up because 6ix9ine would have a field day if Lil Durk got sentenced to, like, life in prison. He would have a field day. He's already going in on him, making a diss track talking about, now you're Muslim, now that you're locked up, and now that you're, you know, caught with all these bodies, you weren't that before, and blah, blah, blah. So yeah, we'll see what happens moving forward. Continuing on, Dame Dash's film company sells for $100 at auction. Yes, you heard that right. So let's go over this. Dame Dash's film production company, Poppington LLC, sold for just $100.50 at a court auction on Tuesday, according to the New York Post. Mike Monster, that's a Moonster? Montaser? No, I'm tripping that. Mike Montaser, CEO of Muddy Water Motion Pictures, placed the winning bid, telling the outlet afterward, I think he's a fool, man. That's crazy. The auction will help offset $1 million that the Rockefeller Records co-founder owes from various defamation lawsuits. The sale of Poppington LLC included the rights to several films. Among them was Honor Up, which starred Dash alongside Cameron and Stacey Dash. There was also the movie's sequel, Too Honorable, as well as Welcome to the Black Rock and we went to China, our search for like-minded individuals. Attorney Chris Brown, damn, shout out to Chris Brown. He's an attorney now. I'm just joking. Noted to the Post that Cameron recently labeled Honor Up whack on social media. It's more of an undertaking of what they viewed Dash's work to be as opposed to anything else. He said, like, no one cares that you went to China, Mr. Dash. I guess I really don't know what to make of that. Earlier this month, filmmaker Josh Weber filed another lawsuit against Dame, this time accusing him of defamation. He alleged that his public comments on their feud cost him a $10 million agreement that he had lined up to direct and produce a film titled Tron, according to All Hip Hop. In the Los Angeles federal court filing, Weber referenced Dame's threat to file a civil RICO lawsuit against him in October. He included an email from someone named Tina Palmer, who claims that one of the film's investors demanded Weber to be let go after learning about the drama with Dame. Before that, Dame lost multiple other lawsuits to Weber following their falling out over the film Dear Frank. As the financial trouble grew in the recent years, Dame filed for bankruptcy back in September. After that, he went on The Breakfast Club and got into a confrontation with Charlamagne. Yeah, we know about that. Yeah, man, this guy is just knee-deep in debt. He paints it as, yeah, I'm in debt, I'm broke, but my companies aren't, basically, is how he paints it as. And that could necessarily be true, but it's just there's too many headlines of crazy stuff coming out. And I'm going to compare this to 50. I know you guys are sick and tired of hearing 50 on this podcast. I've been mentioning him every time, but I just the best, like I said, I know his career the best. I know, the best of the details when it comes to when I'm talking about certain things that are comparing to him. So it's just easier for me to compare. 50's bankruptcy is clear as day. It was chapter, I want to say 13. I could be wrong, or chapter 11. Chapter 11, I think, bankruptcy. And on that bankruptcy, you're just restructuring your debt and paying less of your debt off. And the debt was the lawsuits that he had. He had one with SMS Audio. He had one from Rick Ross's baby mama. And I think those are the only ones that I can remember that were really huge. You probably had a little bit, maybe another mini lawsuit, but those were the two biggest ones. The SMS Audio one was like staggering amount of like 20 million or something like that. And then the baby mama, Rick Ross baby mama, was like 8 million or some crazy number like that. I could be wrong on those numbers 100%, but I know that he did the bankruptcy to make sure that he paid a lot less of that. And then he sued the lawyers, his own lawyers. He sued for malpractice, saying that they didn't, properly do their job, and actually won that. So he won like, I don't even know, $10-12 million. So on top of that, like, he was winning money, but he probably just used that money he won from those lawyers fucking up everything and used it to pay off those debts. So then he probably didn't even touch his own money at all. I don't know. But that's different, where you get that. Because if we would have saw stories of 50 right after the bankruptcy like this, where he's starting to auction things off and things are just not looking good, like G-Unit Films and Television being auctioned off and his catalog of music and, his ownership rights of this. And then you could say, okay, he didn't just file bankruptcy to restructure money. He's legitimately broke. So that's the kind of difference in this, where Dame says that, hey, I filed bankruptcy because of the X, Y, and Z. It's smart to do it. But, the people that file bankruptcy, they usually don't have auctions happening and all these crazy stuff. They usually file it because they're just restructuring their whole thing. So that's kind of the difference there, to tell whether somebody's really telling the truth of whether they're broke or not. To me personally, I don't mind filing bankruptcy. If I'm in a situation where there is too much debt and too much people are coming after me and I can save myself, there's no shame in filing bankruptcy, man. The richest people in the world have done it quite a few times. It's not a marker for failure. It just depends on what kind of bankruptcy. Even the Chapter 7 one, which is the serious one where you don't have any money, even that bankruptcy, there's a reason for it. Why not utilize it, man? All these fucking millionaires and multimillionaires and billionaires, they file bankruptcy. They get out of debt. They find their loopholes. So you use your loopholes as well, man. There's nothing wrong with that. So I have no problem with Dame Dash filing bankruptcy. I do have a problem with him acting like it's not a big deal to a certain extent, because it is. You having to auction stuff off means you definitely don't have the money. So anyways, that's my take on it. We'll see what happens moving forward. Continuing on, NBA YoungBoy has avoided charges. Really interesting. Let's go over this article. NBA YoungBoy had a great 2025, arguably one of the best years yet in his career. Yeah, he killed it with the touring. But according to Fox 13 News, it almost came to a turbulent close due to a New Year's traffic stop in Utah before 2026 rolled around. Per the outlet, Utah Highway Patrol troopers stopped a car on Interstate 15 in Utah County at around 4:30 p.m. local time over a traffic violation. Fox 13 News suggests it was on Wednesday, December 31st, but there are conflicting reports from Utah's KUTV News. 3 individuals were reportedly in the vehicle: an unidentified male driver, an unidentified female passenger, and a third passenger, YB himself. During the traffic stop, police conducted a probable cause search and seized unspecified illicit drugs in their discovery. The male driver and female passenger reportedly claimed responsibility for the drugs, and Utah County's attorney's office is reportedly screening charges for both individuals as of the writing of this article. Authorities reportedly did not arrest either individual per KUTV News. However, according to these reports, the Baton Rouge lyricist faces no charge at press time, and police did not arrest him. It seems like the 26-year-old was not responsible in this situation and had nothing to do with the drugs. Still, considering YoungBoy's past legal trouble, this could have been a big headache if police charged him with anything or arrested him. Since getting out of jail, leaving house arrest, and de-align with a lot of legal scrutiny, he's been working hard to stay out of trouble, minimize risk, and move on in his career. Yeah, and be a young boy. Yeah, he's been a lot more, what's the word to use, man? I don't want to say marketable because, well, technically, yeah, he's been a lot more ad-friendly, if that makes any sense. Because the tour is doing well, I think he's getting back on, like, just being able to be more of a brand instead of, you know, this guy who always gets locked up, who shoots shit up, who does all this gangster shit, right? That's the part with a lot of these artists that I wish they understood is they have a brand. Like, you guys have a brand. Protect that brand with all costs and build that brand because you can make a lot more money. And I try to get this message across to certain artists that I even talk to, and they just don't get it. They see themselves as just an artist, and that's it. I get it. They want to focus on the music side of things, but building that brand will get them into way different levels of things. And what's building that brand, right? Academics had this conversation, and he said that artists that go on streaming platforms, artists that are mainly music focused, that go on streaming platforms as streamers, not streaming platforms, but streamers platforms like Kai Cenat or Speed or whoever, they ruin their aura of them being an artist. And to a certain extent, I agree with that. And really, it's this fucking simple for artists, especially rappers, not even artists, just rappers, because rappers don't seem to get this. You are not Beyonce. You are not Kanye West. You are not Taylor Swift. You are not Jay-Z. You are not Eminem. You are not Drake. You are not Kendrick Lamar. You are not those people. Now, why am I saying that? I'm saying that because stop dropping surprise albums. We don't know who the fuck you are to surprise us with anything. How can I be surprised when I don't even care? I don't even give a fuck. I don't know who you are. That's the problem. Please, rappers in 2026, please just put some budget, some type of rollout. Drop a single, drop a second single, drop a third single, then drop your album. Do interviews. Don't be fucking antisocial and pretend you're mysterious and never do an interview. Like, put some fucking effort into your albums coming out, please. I'm tired of this shit. I'm tired of these guys dropping random ass albums, expecting people to care and expecting to do numbers. Nobody cares about you that much to just randomly check out your album. I don't care that you have 4 million followers. You know what's crazy? As the years have gone on, social media, followers mean less and less and less. It's about your engagement rate. It's always been about that, but now it's even more. Even YouTube, you look at what you got to look at is your monthly viewers. That's what you look at. What's your audience. For example, I think in November, it might have been November or October, my monthly viewers was like, it was November because that's when the channel finally started going back to normal. But my monthly viewers was like 140,000 and I have 700,000 subscribers. So it doesn't matter about subscribers, your followers. None of that stuff matters. It's about how engaging you are, how many people actually want to watch you and be there to watch you. Same with the music. So don't go on a, Kai Cenat, stream and think that people are going to be interested in your music. No, push the music. That's what you push if you want to be an artist. If you want to be an influencer, an entertainer of different sorts, then yeah, go on these streams, say, hey, I have a new record. If people don't stream it, you're all good. You do something else. That's it. But if you want to be an artist with hit records and actually produce something of quality, take your time, do a rollout, and stop doing these things that are ruining your brand, that are diverting attention from your music. If you were to go on a streamer's platform, you should set a rule and say, hey, for me to go on your platform, I want us to talk about the music 90% of the time. I want us to stream the music. I want us to dance to the music. I want us to just ask me questions about the music. And then we'll have a little fun a little bit here and there about some stuff, but make it about the music. These fucking rappers go on there and it's literally a minute talking about the album. The rest of the 3-hour stream is random shit. Ice Spice going there shaking her ass. It's not about the music. It's about you getting some ass clap views. I don't know. Regardless, I don't know how this led from the NBA YoungBoy thing. Well, yeah, branding. It's important. Take your time and just do proper rollouts, man. Why are artists, rappers are just, I keep saying artists because it's not artists. Taylor Swift can just drop a surprise album, but she actually did interviews. She actually took out time to say, hey, let me promote this album a little bit. These rappers are just dropping random ass projects and not even doing interviews. At least the bare minimum. If you're not going to do a rollout, the bare minimum, do some fucking interviews. Do something about the music. Oh, I'm going to drop a music video or two. I'm going to drop a surprise project. That's it. And if the album doesn't sell, well, you guys are haters. You guys don't. No. You're just being lazy and promoting it. There's some artists that drop albums. I don't even realize they drop an album. I have no idea. And I'm actually fans of them. I just don't even fucking know. Because they're just randomly dropping shit. And I'm not on Instagram 24/7 and social media to know what the fuck's going on every 2 seconds. I have to be because of my job, but sometimes I miss some shit. Who was the last guy that dropped an album that I was like surprised at? Shit, it might have been Kevin Gates. And I'm a huge Kevin Gates fan. I was surprised he dropped. I was like, what? He dropped a project? What? I had no idea. Because they're just randomly dropping shit. Stop randomly doing this. It's annoying. And it's a rant that I'm going on. I'm going to die on this hill. Stop it. Stop it. All right. Continuing on. Nicki Minaj is facing a lot of backlash. And she has an insane petition going on where people want her deported. You heard that right. So let's go over this article and see what the hell is going on. Over 70,000 people have signed a petition on change.org calling for Nicki Minaj's deportation to Trinidad. The move comes as she's been facing tons of backlash for voicing her support for the Republican Party Turning Point USA's America Fest earlier this month. The petition claims that Minaj is spiraling out of control and seems to be experiencing psychosis. It goes on to cite her ongoing feud with Jay-Z and Beyonce, arguing that she has no justifiable reason to target them. Additionally, it references her husband, Kenneth Petty's criminal history. This is not just a personal grievance, it's a matter of public concern. The petition continues. Nicki Minaj's influential status does not grant her the right to overstep legal and moral boundaries. Her actions have demonstrated that she poses a threat not only to the individuals she has targeted, but potentially to the broader community. It concludes deporting Nicki Minaj back to her home country, Trinidad, seems the most viable solution to curtail her harmful actions. It would ensure the safety of American citizens and send a clear message that harassment and support of criminal activity will not be tolerated. Let us stand together in urging the authorities to take immediate action for the safety and well-being of all involved. Sign this petition to make our voices heard and ensure that justice is served. At America Fest, Nicki Minaj voiced her support for Donald Trump while condemning California Governor Gavin Newsom. She argued that the president has given so many people hope that there's a chance to beat the bad guys and to win and do it with your head held high, as caught by the New York Post. She also labeled him handsome. All right, now you're stepping your boundaries here, Nicki. You're tripping. Handsome, come on, Nicki. Be honest. If he wanted to clap them cheeks, would you allow Donald Trump to clap them cheeks? Be honest, Nicki. That orange guy, would you allow him to clap your cheeks? Oh, by the way, here's the update. Over 120,000. So not 70,000. It has gone up to 120,000 signatures. That is fucking insane. Okay, so there's two of them, which I don't know why the fuck they did two of them. But one has 88,000 and one has 47,000 signatures. So you combine those. What's the math on that? I guess 120, 130,000 signatures in total. So yeah, there's two of them, which makes no sense. There should be just one, but whatever. That's, I guess, how much some people hate her for her stance. Now, listen, politics, I'm going to give you guys the raw truth. I'm not really, I don't really give a fuck that much about politics because there's so much into it. There's so much corruption that is just, to a certain extent, I view it as there's only so much I can do as one individual. Now, if people got together and actually pushed a movement, things change what happened because we the people have the power here in America and everywhere in the world. The people have the power. My issue right now is with the taxes. The taxes is going through crazy stuff. We're funding wars. We're funding corruption in America. Politicians are stealing from us. Left, right, doesn't matter. They're all screwing us in the end. That's the way I view it. And I know that's broad and there's a lot more detail and there's a lot more stuff to get into. I'm not going to go into that whole rabbit hole because there's so many different viewpoints and so many different things and so many different things that just mix around to confuse people. I'm not saying I know it all. I'm just saying, listen, they're both bad on both sides. Anyone pushing you a certain way and saying that they're not is lying to your face. We've caught Republicans and Democrats stealing corruption all over the place. All over the place. With that being said, if everybody just came together in America, like the taxes thing, if we just decided, hey, we're not paying taxes anymore in America, what are they going to do? Stop 80 million people that pay taxes? They can't do that. They only got 80,000 IRS agents that can help. I think 80,000 or 8,000. They're not going to be able to do anything. They would have to listen to us. And we have the power at the end of the day. But they divide us through race, through religion, through politics, through whatever. So that's my stance on it. And, Nicki choosing a specific side, whatever. I think a lot, and I've seen this with YouTubers because I criticize YouTubers for this. Like I used to watch the Hodge twins, right? I don't know if you guys know them. The Hodge twins, it's these twin guys mixed. And the reason why I'm mentioning race is because they have now turned into straight up Republicans, like straight up, and they even diss their own race, certain content for views. And I say this, I tie this to Nicki Minaj because I feel like celebrities or content creators that fall off, the last resort that they have is politics to try to have some type of longevity in what they're doing. Because that's the best way to rile people up. It's the easiest way to rile people up. If I just decided straight to go into politics, I would not only make a killing financially, but I would easily rile people up. It's so easy. That's how brainwashed people are into politics. They've been brainwashed so much that if you say just slightly the thing that goes against them, they go crazy. So I encourage all of you to just, if you are on one side of the fence, take a look at both sides and just understand that it's them, those rich ass politicians that are corrupt, that are stealing against us, the people that are struggling day to day. Inflation, groceries, all this stuff. It's crazy. So Nicki Minaj, I don't know what I don't think her career has fallen off per se, but I don't know what got her to get into this route of things. I think she needs to, I don't know, man. I don't know. I think that's how she probably feels. What's interesting is like Charlie Kirk, who ran the Turning Point USA, he didn't even like Nicki Minaj. There's like an old video that resurfaced of him basically saying she's a bad role model. I don't know, man. It's kind of weird out here. I think a lot of people resort to politics when their career is kind of stagnant or something's just not going right. Like I said, YouTubers do that a lot. I've seen so many YouTubers that are now resorting to politics, talking about politics. Like I said, it's the easiest way to rile people up. But that's my take on it, and we'll see. I don't think she's going to get deported. Nonetheless, people can start the petitions and stuff like that. But yeah, we don't know. We'll see what happens. Drake has been hit with another RICO lawsuit, and this is the same as kind of the previous one. It's just in a different state. This has to do with the Stake, I don't know, gambling website, whatever the fuck it is. I always see that all over the place. These gambling sites pay ridiculous amounts of money because they make so much money from people gambling everything away that they make so much money that they can afford to get a Drake to promote them. You know, Drake probably costs $10 million, probably even more, just to talk about a certain brand. But let's go over this article. Drake may be working on his highly anticipated new solo album, Iceman, but he has some legal trouble to deal with along the way. He, kick streamer Adin Ross, and the online gambling platform Stake have reportedly been hit with another class action lawsuit for alleged illegal gambling promotions. According to Lauren LaRosa on Twitter, the lawsuit alleges that the co-defendants, along with George, have been using Stake's tip-in feature to give each other money. The civil lawsuit accuses them of using money to artificially boost Drizzy's music streams across major distribution platforms and digital streaming services. In addition, through Stake's tipping function, defendants have financed their combined artificial streaming botting to create fraudulent streams of Drake's music, fabricate popularity, disparage competitors and music label executives, distort recommendation algorithms, and distribute financing for all of the foregoing while concealing the flow of funds. Two plaintiffs reportedly alleged in the filing. Furthermore, the lawsuit claims the Toronto superstar knowingly and willingly allowed for his alleged co-conspirators to mask encrypted transfers of giveaways widely unavailable to the public. In addition, it alleges $100,000 tip transfer between Ross and the Six God in 2023. It also brought up Drake's 2024 Drizmas giveaway stream with Adin Ross as an example of the co-defendants allegedly cycling through tips among themselves to fuel botting and paid engagement tactics. Not only that, but the lawsuit reportedly mentioned a $220,000 car that Stake allegedly gifted to Ross days before New Year's Eve filing. LaRosa stated that she reached out to the boys' team for comment and hasn't received a response as of writing the article. The lawsuit appeared in United States District Court for Eastern District of Virginia. According to Casino Beats, it accused the co-defendants of promoting an illegal gambling operation and seeks $5 million in damages. The report also identifies the plaintiffs as allegedly being LaShawna Ridley and Tiffany Hines, or Stake.us users within the United States in the filing. Drake received similar lawsuits last year in New Mexico and Missouri. He did a stream giving away part of his Stake earnings mere days ago. So, like I said, this is another civil, not criminal. If it happens criminally, which I'm pretty sure the government's going to look into this and see if this is a illegal gambling operation, because now you got 3 different states that have you in a civil lawsuit, and that, of course, court's attention to the government. But the government can turn a blind eye like they usually do if they just, if Stake gives them money, says, hey, we'll give you $10 million, $20 million. Don't look into this. And they could do that easily. We know the government to be corrupt. There's nothing surprising there. The Stake co-founder responds to the lawsuit. He responded, Stake, Adin, and Drake in 500 emojis. The Michigan creative wrote, we'll do it in 4. Wait, hold up. However, other defendants haven't gotten much of a response. Stake co-founder Benny replies to DGG showing support in Drake. So basically, the report, DGG said Stake, Adin, and Drake in 5, meaning I don't know if you've seen the NBA playoffs where the team has to win 4 games out of 7. And if a team wins in 5, that means that, they only lost 1 game and won 4. But the co-founder says we'll do it in 4, meaning we won't take a single loss and we'll beat this whole thing easy. So that's his response to it. Interesting enough. But yeah, that's the update on it. Another civil lawsuit, nothing new, although this one's accusing Drake of boosting his streams and stuff like that, which Drake has been accused of before. A lot of artists have been accused of that. So we'll see what happens moving forward. All right, let's talk about this 50 Cent Papoose thing briefly. I don't really want to go over every single thing that they said back and forth. A bunch of AI videos, 50 calling his women that Papoose is with handsome and that he doesn't get, he gets those masculine looking women. Back and forth, right? How did this start is what a lot of people are wondering. 50 randomly, sometimes he'll just randomly post stuff and delete it. And someone screenshotted 50 posting an AI video of Papoose talking to his, I think Clarissa is the girl, and following a video of Remy and Papoose allegedly at the same store for Christmas. He posted this video of them basically, it's like a funny clip. And he says, now you see that's assault. You can't just go around putting your hands on people. LOL. Happy New Year. And he deleted it. Like, I didn't see it at all. So this must have been really late at night, because usually I see the 50 Cent posts like the second they're up. This got deleted, and then Papoose caught wind of that, and he posted an AI video of 50 dancing, like AI video of him dressed in like a girl outfit dancing. And then 50 responded with, "Oh, you're all your bitches handsome, this and that." And then Papoose responded, "Get in the booth, you're a little bitch, this and that." 50 responded as well. And the funny part about all this is actually something that I posted on our Instagram page, got reposted by 50 to respond to all these, to like Papoose and all these motherfuckers hate, right? And this is the funny part. So I posted his In the Club record, surpassed 2 billion streams. 50 posted that and said, "This just in, LOL. I know this be making guys mad. It is what it is. If you was nice, people would buy your music. Your shit is trash, fool." And that's funny because it's something that I made and it got posted, which was really cool on that end. But yeah, they went back and forth. Yeah, 50 said, "Look what Pat posted. Ha. That looked like one of his joints. All his hoes handsome. They tougher than him. LOL." And I don't even know what Papoose's Instagram is. Let me see. He's got 2.8 million followers. He posted another video of 50 dancing in like a bikini top. And in the caption said, "Why everybody keep comparing 50 to a bitch? Is it because he gossips so much? Why he still ain't respond to Let's Rap About It? You know he ain't nice for real. Go apologize to Banks, chump. You need him right now." Damn. That is kind of brutal. Then he continued on. He said, "Since you want to post cap, we're going to post facts. Corner boy, translation, boo-boo, the fool was a bum before rap. This guy was taking packs on Guy R. Brewer, which is 50th Street, that he grew up on, the gangster street. What type of gangster lie about how many times they got shot? He said he lied because he wanted to get shot more times than Tupac. Alexa, play What the Helly by Rob 49. What the Helliante? What the hell you on? This guy more of a wankster than I thought he was. You hit this black queen while she was pregnant. You abused this black queen, but you wife Daffy and Joy. Our sisters aren't good enough for you." This type of stuff, right? 50, trolling as well, back and forth with AI videos, just shit that I honestly, I'm going to be honest with you, I could give two fucks about. I don't give a fuck about a Papoose. No disrespect to Papoose, but I know this guy for 2 songs, and one of them is not even his fucking song, just a verse he has. 5 boroughs of death, you understand. I got the New York City in the palm of my hand. I can smack ridiculous, whatever the fuck he says on that Busta Rhymes Touch It remix. He killed that. Cool. I know him for that, and then I know him for being the ABCDEFG rapper who has this insane freestyle where he just raps all the letters, all words that start with A, all words that rhyme that start with B, so on and so forth, which is hard to do, but it's really cool. And that's it. That's all I know from Papoose. Now, you might say, "Oh, Quake, you don't know shit about New York. You don't know about the culture." Let's just go over this guy's Spotify numbers. Let's just see. Let me see if I can even find him on streaming. Let's see if you can find. Nope, you can't even find him on the KWRB website, which shows everybody's streaming numbers. He doesn't even pop up. So that's how relevant this guy is. So last I checked, he had 170,000 monthly listeners. Right now, he has 162,000 monthly listeners. This guy gets in monthly listeners less than I do in views on YouTube per month. And I'm literally a nobody. I don't consider myself nobody. I'm not famous. I'm not at the level of a Papoose famous, right? More people know of Papoose than they know of me. But to say that, hey, 50 should respond to this guy in the booth, and 50 needs to, do this and that. Why would, I just, and people are going to be like, well, it doesn't matter, Quake, that he only has that. It's about bars. It's about rap. You guys got to understand, there's a certain level that you go to when you're responding to people. There has to be a certain level. And here's the thing. When 50 was in his prime, never duck smoke. Never. This guy hasn't dropped an album since 2014. You guys want this guy to go back in the booth and respond to some nobodies? Legitimately. Let's see what Jim Jones's monthly listeners are at. Fabulous is the only one. So Jim Jones at 826,000, which is a little bit better than, Papoose. Let's see what Fabulous is at. Fabulous has 4.9, almost 5 million. So see, Fabulous, he's got a few hit records. People listen to him monthly, pretty good. I can understand people being like, oh, get in the booth, 50 respond to Fabulous. To a certain extent, I can understand it. But to a Jim Jones, especially to a Papoose, why would 50 take out time, dedicate time of his day to respond to these guys? An Instagram post is quick, easy. People say, oh, 50 can respond with an Instagram post. That shit takes 5 minutes. Matter of fact, most of the AI stuff he finds is from other pages. Or maybe people send it to him. It's that simple. And then you write a funny caption and you keep it moving. Going in the booth will take at least 4 to 5 hours. I'm not saying the 4 to 5 hours to write the record. I'm saying 4 to 5 hours because you got to drive to a studio, because I doubt 50's around a studio. Hasn't been making music in a long ass time. You got to get to a studio, sit there, find the right beat, have your engineer there, write something, figure out if it's dope, so on and so forth. And by the time you get it out, mix and master, all that, at least 5 hours. And that's on the quick end. Why would he dedicate 5 hours of his time to these guys when 50 in 5 hours can clear $1 million like it's nothing? Like, you have to understand to a certain extent, when 50 was in his prime, he was responding to everybody. He never ducked smoke. But he's not in that music mode anymore. Why would he take out time to respond to Papoose? Papoose. There's people who have no fuck. There's people in the comments that are saying, who the fuck is a Papoose? They don't know who the fuck he is. I know him because I'm in hip hop. I'm a hip hop head, and I don't even know his catalog. I just know those 2 moments of him. That insane freestyle, which I give him respect for. He can rap, but that's it. Like, being able just to rap bars doesn't mean you're all of a sudden the greatest of all time. If that was the case, a lot of fucking Papoose would be one of the top rappers ever. You'd have insane streams. Everybody would love him. Because Papoose can rap. You got to be able to make hit records too, man, in order for people to care. Regardless, that's a whole different conversation. 50 taking out the time to respond to. Here's the thing. 50 is the most streamed New York. I'm going to talk about that. The most streamed New York rapper on YouTube. I reported on that. He reposts on it. Most stream on YouTube. Now you're probably saying, why YouTube? Who gives a shit? It's YouTube. What about Spotify? What about all this stuff, right? On Spotify, he might be the most. It's him. It's between him and Jay-Z. Interesting enough. I think Jay-Z's got like, in the year, he got like 3.6 billion or 3.4. 50 got the same amount. So it's really tied. Really, Jay-Z's the only person that's like come close to him when it comes to streaming. But Jay-Z has like 12 fucking albums. 50's got 5. So, there's a lot more music that people can stream from Jay-Z than they can from 50. Because a bulk of 50's music is from mixtapes. A bulk of it. You can even say more than half, if you want to, is from mixtapes. And those aren't on streaming platforms. You go on YouTube, though, you can listen to that bulk of mixtapes. You can listen to the albums. You can listen to a bunch of shit on YouTube. That's why it matters more when it comes to 50 on the YouTube side, because you can actually listen to a bulk of his stuff. The same thing with Jay-Z, but Jay-Z didn't have mixtapes like that. 50 had the whole Junior Radio. 50 had his own run of mixtapes. So 50's bulk of music isn't even on streaming platforms, yet he still dominates on streaming. I say that to say, if you are the most streamed on YouTube as a New York rapper, and people were commenting, oh, nobody listened to 50 in New York, he was the third. That was his third most streamed area, was New York. The first was, I think, Sao Paulo. The second was London. And then third was New York. So people still listen to 50 in New York. It was like 25.3 million listens in New York. In total, we got like 1.9 billion. Jay-Z got like 780 million. So I'm saying all this to say, man, because 50 is not a rapper like that anymore, he's not going to take out time to respond to these guys. There's no point. Jay-Z wouldn't do it. Do you think Jay-Z would go right now and respond to Papoose? Be 100% on. No. You don't give a fuck about no Papoose. He would not respond to Jim Jones. He would not respond to Fabulous. He would not respond to Davies. He would not respond to Mano. Like, these guys, let's see what Mano's at on Spotify. Mano has 863,000. Same shit as Jim Jones. He's got like 40,000 more. So let's see here. Let's go to Dave East. He probably might have more because he's more modern, more newer. I think he's more consistent musically right now. Yeah, he's got barely more. We're talking 939,000. He's got maybe 100,000 more than Jim Jones and Mano. That's it. These guys, four of these guys don't crack a million. Spotify listeners. Four of them. Papoose, Davies, Jim Jones, Mano. They can't crack a million. Then you got Fabulous, who's on a different level, which I always said. Fabulous, I don't know why Fabulous did a podcast with these guys. He's on a whole different level. He could have done a podcast with somebody way closer to him on the streaming world. He's got almost 5 million streams. That's respectable. That's good for an artist who's been out for a long-ass time. He's good. Let's go on 50. Let's just, out of curiosity, let's see where 50's at on streams. On Spotify monthly listeners. Let's just see. 47 million. 47 million. That's like 30 Papooses. I mean, that's like 30 Fabulouses, or at least 20. I don't know. I'm horrible at math. At least 20 Fabulouses. That's like Papooses. He's at 100. Papoose is at what? 180,000? 162,000? That's like, I don't even know what the math. He's like, that's like 400 to 600 Papooses. Why would he take out the time? The fact that 50's even responding to Papoose and even addressing that guy, he should be thankful. This is the most coverage Papoose has ever gotten in the last like 5 to 10 years. Maybe the Remy Ma stuff where he went back and forth with her. That was like the last time I remember hearing about Papoose. That's it. So, you know, now people, I know what people are going to say. It's not about the streams, Quake. It's not about, you know, it's not just numbers. Get in the booth and rap. You're a rapper. 50 hasn't been a rapper in 10 years. Hasn't dropped an album. If he would have dropped an album, let's just say in 2020 or 2022, I would have been like, yeah, get your ass back in that booth. You're out here bullshit. Because you dropped some pretty recent music. You're out here bullshit. But it's been since 2014. He's never even dropped an album on streaming to see what streaming numbers would be. He's never done that. So I can't believe you guys expect this guy to go from never dropping music. He dropped 2 songs in 2025. The theme song for Fightland, and then he hopped on this fucking random Italian rapper song and did a quick feature. Probably just to get a quick $250,000 and said, I'll do it. Give me that. And he dropped some. The flow is still there, but the verse is not that good. It's just some regular women gun talk, and that's it, which he's repeated on a lot of verses. To act like 50 needs to respond to these guys when these guys are nowhere near this guy's level. Like I said, you guys would not expect Drake to respond. You guys would not expect. Actually, Drake's a different story because he's actually releasing music. I would expect Drake to respond because he's about the music right now. But a Jay-Z, because Jay-Z hasn't dropped a solo album since 2017. So same shit with Jay-Z. I wouldn't expect him to respond. But at least with 50 in his prime, unlike Jay-Z, in his prime, you got him responding to everybody. Jay-Z ducked a lot of smoke. He handed it off to his homies. Not saying they ducked all the smoke, but he did. He'd do a lot of subliminals, or he would allow Memphis Bleak to take care of it, or whoever the fuck, Beanie Siegel that was around him. You know, so he was ducking smoke. At least with 50 in his prime, he responded to everybody. That's the least you could say. Anyways, that's my take on it. I really don't give a fuck if 50 responds to it. Who wants to respond to somebody that has 163,000 monthly listeners? We're talking Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Kobe Bryant responding to a high school basketball player. That's what we're talking about here. That's the comparison. Or a washed up fucking bench warmer from a 2000s team. A Houston Rockets bench warmer. That's what we're talking about from a 2000s Houston Rockets team. You know when Yao Ming and Tracy McGrady were on the Houston Rockets? Yeah, some bench warmer there. I don't know. Throw some fucking name out there. I don't know. But that's what we're talking about here, guys. That's where you guys are saying Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Kobe Bryant should respond to. Imagine if that guy, okay, here's a good example. Kwame Brown. That guy was hyped up, #1 draft, right? Kwame Brown gets a lot of flack. But imagine a Kwame Brown. LeBron James responding to a Kwame Brown. And saying, yeah, let's go one-on-one, let's battle. That would be the dumbest shit ever. What? You're in a whole different league. That makes no sense. Just anyways, there's nothing I could say more because some people are going to feel the way they feel. I want 50. By the way, I want to clarify this. I want 50 in the booth as much as you guys do. As much as you guys do. I want 50 in the booth. But this ain't it. I don't want to hear 50 responding to no fucking Papoose. No. Who? Papoose? All right, man. That's enough. No disrespect to Papoose. I love your ABC freestyle that you do. Actually, let me see if I can play that. ABC. I forget what he says on the record. Let's see. I think it's ABC rap or some shit. Alphabetical Slaughter is what it's called. Yeah. Let's see what he says. Yeah. How much views this shit got? 2.8 million in 19 years ago? Damn.
Gonna do is we gonna ain't really aimed in aggressively. Accurate AKs ain't gonna throw away.
Yeah.
Adversary afraid that's active ammunition to praise. Accumulated an alias after arrested.
See, it all starts with A. He rhymes it, which is very impressive and cool. But that's it. That's what I know this guy for. And the Busta Rhymes Touch It remix, his verse on there. That's what I know him for. That's it. Yeah, can he freestyle? Does he get some views? He did a Papoose freestyles on Flex. 3.6 million views 8 years ago. Cool. But to a certain extent, man, we don't give a fuck about no Papoose. Be honest, guys. Do you guys sit there and say, I'm going to go listen to some Papoose? Be fucking honest. Be honest. I doubt it. I doubt it. You guys, the last time you probably listened to Papoose was 10 years ago. At best, 5 years ago. If that. You know, so that's my take on it. Yeah, it's just bullshit. Bunch of back and forths. I get 50 people feel 50 is corny for all these IG stuff. To a certain extent, makes sense. But that's my take on it. Continuing on, 50 Cent, like I said earlier, he finished as New York's top rapper on YouTube. And this is really cool because I'm going to be reading this and I'm going to get props for it, which is really cool. Because I don't read a lot of these articles and get props in my own shit, you know? So the article says 50 Cent has shared the news that he finished 2025 as the most streamed New York rapper on YouTube. Taken to his Instagram on Tuesday, he posted a graphic from Diverse Mentality. Shout out to me. Yeah. With the announcement and wrote in the caption, I thought we got over this, guys. It is the way it is. LOL. According to Diverse Mentality, yeah. Shout out to me, man. I love giving myself props. 50 Cent earned 1.9 billion global streams over the last year. The figure put him above other artists in the top 10, including Nicki Minaj, Carti B, Jay-Z, 6ix9ine, Pop Smoke, French Montana, Notorious B.I.G., A$AP Rocky, and Lil Tecca. Fans of 50 celebrated the achievement in the comments section of the post. To be fair, you got the best music for the gym, one fan wrote. Another added, smartest thing I ever did as a kid was listen to 50. One more fan joked, did he punch in the air right now? Of course, that's hilarious. But yeah, we posted this. 50's at number one with 1.9 billion streams. Nicki Minaj at number 2 with 1.22 billion. Cardi B's at number 3 with 955 million. Jay-Z's at number 4 with 711 million. Number 5 is 6ix9ine with 696 million. Pop Smoke's at number 6 with 645 million. French Montana's at number 7 with 587 million. Biggie's at number 8 with 581 million. A$AP Rocky's at number 9 with 552 million. And Lil Tecca is at number 10 with 471 million. Now, I know people are like, where's Nas? Where's this? Where's that? And this list is bullshit. 6ix9ine's on it, blah, blah, blah. Well, YouTube is more of a global platform, and YouTube has more mixtapes. That's why you're seeing Pop Smoke on here, because some of his projects are mixtapes that, yes, they're on streaming, but more viewed on YouTube. Alongside French Montana, he's got that Unforgettable record, which is a huge global record. And he's got some mixtapes on there that a lot of people listen to still. Same with Nicki Minaj. Like this YouTube incorporates all of their music that has ever been uploaded. It's on YouTube. You can find any 50 Cent record from a mixtape on YouTube. You can find any Nicki Minaj mixtape on YouTube. You don't have to go to streaming platforms. And it's global. YouTube is the biggest. It's Google and then it's YouTube, and they own each other. So YouTube is literally way bigger than Spotify, way bigger than Apple Music. It gets a wider range pool of people. So I actually prioritize YouTube over everybody else. What I should, and this, what I should have done is like going over all of the, of the country's most streamed rappers on YouTube. Because I know Lil Wayne is up at like that 6 million mark or some crazy shit. Because Lil Wayne has a huge catalog mixtape. And Lil Wayne has been relevant musically much more recently than 50. But 50, you got to understand, 50's doing these numbers without releasing a solo project since 2014. Like, that's crazy. That is insane. But yeah, shout out to me for getting the repost 50. I know I'm over here glazing myself, but Got to be honorable and respectful, man. Got to do my thing. You know what I'm saying? So that's it, man. That's my take on all that stuff going on. And we'll see what happens moving forward. Speaking of numbers, Spotify has, well, not Spotify themselves, but Hip Hop All Day, who releases numbers frequently when it comes to, you know, what people do in streams and sales and stuff. They released the top 50 most streamed rap albums of 2025 on Spotify. And the number one is Kendrick Lamar's GNX with 2.98 billion streams. Number two is Playboi Carti's Music with 2.16 billion. And number three is Tyler, the Creator's Chromacopia at 1.66 billion. Number four is Graduation at 1.50 billion, which is crazy. It's an old album, but that just further proves that Graduation is Kanye West's best album. Number five is Damn with 1.45 billion. And the list goes on and on. The Eminem Show is at number 11 with 1.29 billion. Get Rich or Die Trying is at number 14 with 1.12 billion. Does Jay-Z have an album on here? Because I swear to God, they'd be hyping up Jay-Z like he got the craziest albums out here. Yeah, Jay-Z's album's not even on here. He's not even in the top. Damn, bro. He ain't even in the top, like, what the fuck? No way. Damn, he ain't even in the top 50. That's crazy. I might be reading this wrong, but shit. I don't see no Blueprint. I don't see no fucking Black Album. I don't see no Blueprint 3. I don't see no Reasonable Doubt. I don't see shit. Damn, son, where'd you find this? Yeah, that's crazy. That is crazy. There's a few Eminem albums on here, too. Damn. Hey, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. But that's the numbers. So shout out to Kendrick for being the top one for 2025 on Spotify streams. Another update is Kendrick Lamar's Good Kid, Mad City has now sold 10 million units in the United States. It will become his first diamond album once certified. So here's the interesting thing. Kendrick Lamar hasn't had his certifications updated in a long-ass time. Like a long-ass time. So when this guy submits them, he's going to probably have like insane numbers because it hasn't been updated in a long time. Drake's gets his updated like every 2 to 3 years. Some artists get theirs updated every 2 to 3 years. Eminem, I don't know. I don't know why certain artists don't, but some artists don't at all. Like it takes a while. Like I just posted that In the Club, surpassing 2 billion streams on Spotify, and Six Figure Digga, who produced Mini Men, he commented and said he needs to get the certification updated because the album's at 9 times platinum since 2020. Right now, it's a diamond album in the United States. So that needs to be updated. I don't know why he doesn't update that because the last time I was updated is 2020. But yeah, it's going to be interesting, man. It's going to be interesting to see what his sales are as these albums get updated. I think Damn is probably going to be another diamond album because Drake just got Take Care as a diamond album. So I would not be surprised if Drake has another diamond album as well as Kendrick Lamar. So, it's a slow process for these guys. It doesn't sell as quickly and doesn't go diamond as quickly, but hey, it goes eventually diamond, which is really cool. So it's cool to see some artists finally get a diamond album instead of just having diamond singles. It's really annoying, but singles are what's pushing right now. So that's the wave, and that's the update for that. Album sales, let's get into it. Let's see what these charts are looking like. Taylor Swift is at number 1 still with 81,000 sold. Morgan Wallen number 2 with I'm the Problem with 71,000 sold. What's funny is a lot of these albums went back to their position because all these Christmas albums falling off the charts because nobody's listening to Christmas music anymore. 3, Olivia Dean, The Art of Lovin' with 54,000. Number 4, K-Pop Demon Hunters, The Soundtrack with 50,000. Number 5, Sabrina Carpenter, Man's Best Friend with 38,000. Peso Pluma and Tito Double P Dinastia debuted at number 6 with 34,000. SZA SOS number 7 with 32,000. Tate McRae, So Close to What, number 8 with 31,000. Number 9, Morgan Wallen, One Thing at a Time with 28,000. Number 10, Alex Warren, You'll Be All Right Kid with 26,000. Number 11, actually, no, I don't go over 11 and stuff like that because that's too much shit. Suicide Boys debuted at number 19 with Thy Will Be Done at 20,000 sold. Drake, Take Care, number 22 with 19,000 sold. Cardi B, Am I the Drama, at number 23 with 19,000 sold. SD Kid, Rebel, at number 27 debut with 17,000 sold. Party Next Door, Some Sexy Songs for You with Drake at 17,000 sold. Number 30, Kendrick Lamar, GNX with 16,000 sold. 21 Savage, What Happened in the Streets at number 34 with 16,000 sold. BX The Plug, Hope You're Happy, number 42 with 15,000 sold. Eminem, Curtain Call, number 43 with 15,000 sold. Tyler, the Creator, Chromacopia, number 47 with 14,000 sold. Kendrick Lamar, Good Kid, Mad City, Number 48 with 14,000 sold, Drake Views at number 49 with 14,000 sold, and NBA YoungBoy Mass at number 50 with 14,000 sold. By the way, when I say 14,000, 15,000, 30,000, 50,000, it's not exactly that number. It's like 14,286 copies, but I'm not going to fucking go over the little numbers and shit. It's going to be a lot to pronounce. But yeah, that's it for today's episode of the Diverse Mentality Podcast. Wow, my mouth is getting dry like crazy. No homo, my throat is hurting too. I guess I haven't gotten used to talking this much on the podcast. There's been a lot of news. But I appreciate you guys. As always, Spotify, Deezer, Podcast, YouTube. Appreciate you guys for supporting. I hope you guys have an amazing 2026. Make it the best year that you can. And don't get upset about the things you can't control because that's life. Have an amazing night, day, whenever you listen to this, and peace.